93, 93, 93. Y'all already know who it is. We back in here once again. This morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are on the planet, we're going to speak a little bit about Hurricane Ian. You know what's going on down in Florida. By the Carolinas. If you've been paying attention to the mainstream news, you already know what's going on. So I just wanted to provide, a little spiritual or occult perspective because we already see what the news is saying. We already seeing what the media is saying. So let's just take it a little further, right? Because I just did the daily reading, right? I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I did the daily reading, and the card that came up was the Two of Cups, right? And I just did the breakdown on my Telegram channel. So if anybody's interested in the daily tarot readings, just check out the Telegram channel. The link is always in the description of the videos, right? Let me actually grab the card so y'all can see, just in case you're not familiar, all right? Two of Cups. And the word for the Two of Cups is love. So essentially, the first pure intention of the waters represents love. Because whenever we are dealing with the aces is unmanifested, so it has no intention. So the very first intention of the realm of the cups is love. But it's not the love that we're used to, the humanistic love, the love that you have for your mother, your partner, your children, so on and so forth. This is more of a universal love. So when we're dealing with universal love, we also know that we have what is called tough love or karmic love, that we're now calling the key word for that, or the code word for that, is climate change. So all this talk about climate change, because the reason why climate change is coming up so much, because we can clearly see that you can say natural disasters are becoming more and more intense. The fires of California, are just, crazy. Then we see these hurricanes are crazy. It's all type of stuff going on, with these natural disasters, and it's causing unprecedented amount of damages. They estimate that Hurricane Ian has caused about $70 billion plus of damage. So we know whenever we're dealing with the number 7, that takes us directly to Neptune, and we know Neptune deals with the 12th house of Pisces, which is our karmic debt. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, all right, this is definitely dealing with karmic debt, because they're putting that 7 and that 0 right in front of you. Also, the number 2 in the Kabbalah, the second Sephra of Chokmah, correlates also to Neptune. So not only does the 7 correlate to Neptune, also the second Sephra correlates to Neptune. So that let me know right there, okay, this is dealing with karmic energy. This is dealing with karmic debt. Let's take it a step further. Because whenever we're dealing with karmic debt or ancestral ties, we know that this is connected to the past. And what I mean by it being connected to the past, we will have to do our history on Florida. Because if we actually do our history on Florida, we will see, Florida, is a Republican state for the most part. It's been that way for a long time. And we know, like, Florida has always had this energy, right? Florida man does this. It's always been like crazy things happening in Florida. I think George Zimmerman, that happened in Florida, the whole Trayvon Martin, Right. What's up, Emoto 72 93? In other words, there has been a lot of injustice, to the native people of the lands that has happened in Florida. Even when it comes to the governor had just appointed a particular person, and then that person had dressed as a Ku Klux Klan member at a Halloween costume. Well, at a Halloween party, they dressed in the costume of a Ku Klux Klan member, and they had to step down from their position of power. Was also in the news recently, right? So if you've been following the news, you know exactly who I'm talking about. They literally had to step down because a picture was discovered, and they were dressed as a Ku Klux Klan member. So they were only in power for like 3 weeks. So they only had power 3 weeks. This picture surfaced, and they literally had to forfeit their power, their position of power. They literally had to. They you can't go forward after that. Also, Governor DeSantis, he also pulled a political stunt recently, where he sent the immigrants to Martha's Vineyard, which is a affluent, neighborhood, and people were like, "Oh, this is completely political." So you can say it's been a lot of political stunts that have been pulled. There's a lot of undercurrents, karmic currents that are occurring. Also, the governor also did not support, you can say, federal aid going to certain cities. I believe it was New Jersey. So a lot of Democrats and the leftists, they're kind of, mocking him right now because like, yo, you just didn't support federal aid being, given to people of New Jersey, so on and so forth. Now you have to ask Biden for help because they're saying if he doesn't ask Biden for help, which is the federal government, right? If he doesn't get federal aid, Florida, is going to have a hard time recovering from this because they're basically saying this was the fifth most powerful hurricane ever in the history of Florida. Because at first I was thinking, okay, doesn't Florida have hurricanes all the time? But as I began to do more and more research, I realized that, okay, no, this isn't normal. This isn't just the normal hurricane that they have to endure. This was the fifth most powerful hurricane, with Hurricane Katrina being number one. So Hurricane Ian is like at number five. Hurricane Katrina caused like $174 billion worth of damage. So that's number one. So Hurricane Ian is in the fifth rank, causing $70 billion worth of damage. I believe majority of the damage was occurring at Fort Myer. All of the boats were washed up shores, the bridges collapsed. If you again, all you gotta do is look at the mainstream media. It's all over there, right? You have all the evidence you need. So I was just, doing my research, looking at this evidence. I'm like, all right, this is clearly karmic. Because if this is basically, they're saying this is essentially the most powerful hurricane in the history of Florida, we just got to ask ourselves, like, okay. They also, before I even go further, they also said this is a once in 500-year event. So basically, they're saying that this only occurs once every 500 years. I've also been hearing this talk with other natural disasters. They were saying like this happens once every 1,000 years. So I've been hearing this talk about these events occurring that happen once every 1,000 years, and this event that happens once every 500 years. So this is why they're saying like this is the most powerful hurricane in the history of Florida, because Florida is not even 500 years old in terms of Florida as we know it today. Because if we go back 500 years, that takes you back to the 1500s. That's when the United States was not in its current form. So that's really what they're talking about. In the current state, in the corporation of America, this was the worst hurricane in the history of Florida. It was people without power, 2.5 million people without power. Also, they did not have running water, and they're still, recovering to this day. And I believe it just happened yesterday or the day before. So, I definitely don't want to, make light of this situation because, again, this is unprecedented, clearly. if it's a once in every 500-year event. So why did it happen in the ninth month of this year? Which is why this is also called the holy number nine. Because according to the Chaldeans, the holy number is the number nine. You know, for most of us, the holy number is the number seven. And I already mentioned it caused $70 billion worth of damage. But it also occurred in the ninth month of September. So now we have a combination of both of the holy numbers, whether we're talking about holy number seven or the holy number nine. And we know the seven deals with karma, and the nine deals with completion. The nine also takes us, if we study the tarot, the nine takes us to the planet Mars, which takes us to the Tower card. And if we know anything about the Tower card, you see a tower being destroyed, a tower set on fire being destroyed. And the only thing that's left is ruins. So not only, again, a double seven effect, because again, it's taking place at the second Sephra of Chokmah, which takes us to Neptune. Then the $70 billion of damage takes us to Neptune. So we have a double Neptune effect. So that's how we know it's karmic, happening in the ninth month of September, which represents, again, the tower. It also represents completion. So if we just look at the attributes here, this is karmic completion, the completion of karma. So if this is the completion of karma, basically you can say Florida has paid its karmic debt. The debt could not be paid with money, because you can say there are a lot of businesses that will not recover from this. Everybody didn't have, you know, hurricane insurance and all that. There would be, basically, if you go back, you know, Florida has been a place, you know, a lot of people have been going to Florida, because again, I've been doing the research, I've been watching the news. They say about like 2,000 people, you know, were moving to Florida like monthly. So Florida was like this growing place where, you know, a lot of people are going. Also, Florida was, you know, very lenient when it comes to cryptocurrency. So Florida has set this initiative to be like a state for crypto holders. You know, so if you're into crypto, you know, Florida has been promoting, you know, cryptocurrency, and they wanted to, you know, create cities, you know, that take crypto. So basically, Florida has been very futuristic. So there's been a lot of energy and a lot of resources directed towards Florida, you know, being one of the, they wanted it to be one of the major cities, you know, futuristic cities. They say the same thing about Austin, Texas. You know, Austin, Texas, also Florida. Because, you know, a lot of people been moving from California to Texas. A lot of people that's in the blue states been moving to the red states. But we know Texas also has its own problem, you know, with the border. You know, a lot of illegal immigrants, you know, they're constantly fighting that. Now we're dealing with Florida, you know, having to fight all these hurricanes, these natural disasters. You can even say like the immigration issue is also a natural disaster because it's dealing with humans. This is also karmic. So whether we're talking about Texas or we're talking about Florida, all this is dealing with karmic energy. Because the Republicans don't like, you know, the immigrants coming over the border versus the Democrats. The Democrats don't mind because they understand that these are the people of the future. These are going to be the people that take the jobs that you don't want to work. You know, so all these jobs, you know, that's dealing with minimum wage, the jobs that we don't want to work because we feel like, you know, we need to at least be paid $15 an hour. We're trying to raise the minimum wage. Well, these people that's coming in, whether through the border, whether the people coming from Ukraine, you know, also the people that came from Afghanistan, you know, all of these immigrants, these will be the people that take these jobs, no problem, because again, they're not thinking about that. They're just happy to be in America. Right? So again, we're dealing with all this karmic energy. And again, the Republicans don't necessarily agree with any of that because you can say they're American first. They are more so nationalists. You know, they want to build up America versus the Democratic agenda is more about the immigrants. They want the immigrants to build and they want the immigrants to work. And the Republicans, want the actual citizens to work. They want to put the citizens first before the immigrants. So, they don't agree on this issue. So that's why you have a lot of these red states, you can say, having blue problems. These red states having democratic problems. So to the Republicans, to the red states, you can say this represents karma because there's really nothing they can do to stop it. Just like there was nothing you can do to stop a hurricane. And basically there's nothing they can do to stop the people from coming through the border. It literally can't be stopped. Now, of course, they can slow it down. And that's basically what they've been doing. They can slow it down, but they essentially they don't have a solution. Like there is no solution to hurricanes, just like there is no solution for the immigrants coming over here because you see somehow there's always an issue. Again, whether it's the issue in Afghanistan or it's an issue in Ukraine, there always seems to be an issue that forces people to want to come to America because of what's going on in their homeland. So because there's so much uncertainty and imbalance in their homeland, they take the dangerous journey to get to America. Like if you want to get to America, through the border, it's a very dangerous journey. People die. People die. You got to swim over lakes and shit. You got to, do a bunch of hiking. People die. Everybody doesn't make it. So it's a very dangerous journey. Just like it was a dangerous journey to come from Ukraine, it's a dangerous journey to come from Afghanistan. These are very dangerous journeys. Just like hurricanes are very dangerous. A lot of people were told to leave. But of course, you're going to have people that don't want to leave their home. And they end up essentially getting stuck in their situation because they didn't want to leave. Some people didn't have nowhere to go, and some people just simply decided, to stay. Okay, they didn't necessarily think that it would be this much, it would be this powerful. Because again, they deal with hurricanes all the time. So you really couldn't have predicted this, again, unless you were an astrologer. Unless you know what's going on behind the scenes, that you're not going to hear from the politicians and you're not going to hear from the mainstream media. So that's why the mainstream media is not going to tell you, okay, this Florida has to pay its karmic debt. Also, Texas has to pay its karmic debt, just due to the history, because there's just so much imbalance. See, again, this is why I emphasize there's never a need to have to really get angry about anything, to have to pick up a gun because of what happened, in slavery times. People getting hung, all of the violence against the original people, the native people. There's just so much bloodshed, so much madness that has occurred, for the past 500 years. And, it makes us very vengeful. It makes us very vengeful. We know how unfair, we are treated. We understand all these things. But as you see, we didn't have to lift a finger, for them to go through what they have to go through, because it's not necessarily for us to take out our vengeance in, you can say, a physical way. Just like I was talking about on the last couple live streams, dealing with demon time and dealing with what it means to be a devil worshiper and all that. These are not the people that pick up guns and shoot people. These are not the people that's going to, that's looking to harm anybody physically. Because there are always other ways to get things done, such as natural disasters. Meaning, the universe is about check and balances. Nobody gets to get away with causing harm to other people. Nobody is able to get away with that. Nobody avoids their karmic debt. They may not repay it immediately. It may not be immediate get back, and the get back may not be in the way that you think. For example, just because people were hung and people were mistreated, people were ran out of their homes, people have been treated unfairly, that doesn't mean that they're going to get that same treatment. It can be a situation where, because of all of the mistreatment of the people, you end up losing your business. You end up, your whole city, ends up being underwater. So pretty much your karma is paid back 10 times deeper, 100 times deeper. just due to the history, due to the mentality. Remember, Florida also has the stand your ground law as well, which is how George Zimmerman was able to get off with Trayvon Martin because of the stand your ground law. And we know how much pain and hurt that caused the people of Florida. You know, the minority groups, we know how much pain that caused because, like, yo, how was this man able to get away with that? So what I'm saying is there's just been a lot of karmic debt in Florida, just like there's been a lot of karmic debt in Texas for, you could say, hundreds of years now. I'm not even just speaking about just the recent history. If you do your history, American history, and you see all of the madness that has been occurring in these cities, in these states, you would know exactly what I'm speaking about. So while, you know, people, you know, we march, we protest, and we see that doesn't necessarily change anything now, does it? You can march all you want, you can protest all you want, but that, you know, somebody still has to pick up a pen and write a law and pass that law, write a bill and pass that bill in order for things to change. These are also pro-cop states, pro-police states, and we know how corrupt the police system is. I'm not saying all cops are bad, but the policing system as a whole is corrupt. So it's easy to become corrupted. Even if you yourself are not corrupt, you know that you are still operating within a corrupt system. That's why we have police unions. So that's why when police get off from straight up killing people, it is due to police unions. So just imagine how many police officers have got away with cold-blooded murder in Texas, also in Florida. Imagine how many original people, how many minorities, how many native people have suffered due to overseers and police for the last 500 years. And I just keep emphasizing 500 because they emphasize this number of 500. Well, again, I'm like, well, if we go back 500 years, going back to the 1500s, again, just imagine the atrocities that people had to endure for 500 years. Now, all of a sudden, we call this climate change. And then they want you to believe that, okay, the world is like global warming. The world is just heating up. Climate change is causing all these natural disasters. Because, of course, they're not going to tell you this is just ancestral debt, wanting some payback, wanting some vengeance. And again, it wanted to take it in blood. There's probably hundreds of people dead right now. They haven't really released the numbers because they don't really know the numbers. There's just so much going on. But I guarantee it's going to be hundreds of people that lost their lives. Hundreds of people that have got sacrificed due to this natural disaster. Of all races, of all creeds, you know, it's not just a particular group. Because it's about a mentality. So just think, all these places, and I'm just using Florida and Texas as examples, all these places that hold a certain mentality are now dealing with karmic debt. It's the mentality that the people hold, which you could say is a 500-year-old mentality. Because if we go back again 500 years, remember Christopher Columbus came here in 1492. So if we go back, so you see where they give you the game without giving you the game. They always speak in code. So that's why when they speak about this happened, this is once in every 500-year event. Well, 500 years ago, we were dealing with Christopher Columbus. We were dealing with the Pilgrims and what the Pilgrims did to the native people, right? So they give you the codes to let you know, okay, this is get back for what happened 500 years ago, which we know. So many native people lost their lives. And it's not even that the native people lost their lives. They were tricked out of their land. They were made to sign deals and deeds so that they were no longer able to be nomadic. Remember, the native people were nomadic people, are nomadic people. They like to move around. They were not used to living on reserves, right? But now the native populations, they have to stay on their reservations. But that's not their culture. They were forced to sign these deeds to live on reservations so that they are no longer nomadic people. And because they were no longer nomadic, you could say they were not able to express themselves and preserve the culture like they wanted to. Now combine that with all of the schools that the natives were sent to. That's why the Pope went to Canada to apologize to the people because of all of the madness that the native people had to face when they went to these Catholic schools, when they went to these Christian schools, and a lot of these kids ended up dead and buried underneath the schools. They were killing kids and then burying them underneath schools. That's why the Pope had to apologize recently this year. So this is what I'm saying. You see, it's getting pretty glitchy now, right? So I'll stop there. Just giving you some things to think about. Because all this is already documented, well documented in history. Otherwise, the Pope would not have to apologize for these things. The pilgrims, they did what they did. They got their land. They built up these cities. They built up these states. And they've been doing this for hundreds of years. And now their karmic debt is global warming. Their karmic debt is climate change. Their karmic debt is immigration. None of these things are happening just because nobody's hands are clean. So that's why we also suffer as well, because we integrate with the system as well. We play a part in the matrix as well. Right? What's up, Trinity? So that's all I'm saying. I'm just giving you a wider perspective, which you're not going to get from the mainstream. No audio. You can't hear any audio? For no audio. Wow. They didn't cut the audio off on me? So y'all can't hear me? Nobody can hear me? Okay. Oh, what's up, Jahari? Salute to you. Salute to you. We ain't seen you in a minute. Salute to you, salutations, grand salutations. But y'all already know what the deal is, right? And if you don't know, what's up, Candace? So did y'all hear me the whole time? Did the audio did the audio cut out at one point? Or have y'all been hearing what I've been saying the whole time? So I just want to know, have y'all been hearing everything I'm saying, or has the audio been fucking? Because you see, yeah, I started saying keywords. What's up, Ty? You see, I started kicking that real shit. This shit get crazy. Oh shit. Have y'all been hearing me the whole time, or was it going in and out? Because I see at certain points it started getting glitchy and shit. I just want to know, have y'all been hearing me the whole time, or was it? I heard you the whole time. All right. I just want to make sure. I'm like, so, what the fuck is going on? But again, this is what you get. This is what you get for doing shit out of love. That's all I gotta say about this. This is what you get when you do shit out of love. Because every time I come on here, I do it out of love. I hear you just a bit glitchy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? You know why I have to go through this? Because I do it out of love. This is pure love. This is pure love. This is what you get from being pure-hearted. I say that because you see, I'm not asking anybody for anything now, am I? I'm not asking nobody to like the video. I'm not asking nobody to comment. I'm not asking you to share it. I'm not asking for donations. I'm like, this is strictly coming from the heart. I'm not gaining anything from this but informing you about what's going on. Like this is coming from the purest place of my heart. Because why wouldn't I want you to know? So that you have understanding. So that you don't get caught up in the matrix and get caught up with everybody else is saying and told these lies. Right? So this is what I mean. See, this is what you have to go through when you're coming from a pure place. It may not be good to hear though. It may not be awesome to hear. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But I'm like, karmic debt is karmic debt. So, but that's what it is. Like, that's why I got to go through what I got to go through on this channel. You see, they're always trying to glitch what I'm saying because it's my opinion is not mainstream. It is what it is, but it's pure love. So anybody with a pure heart, this is just what you go through. All right? What's up, Moon Spirit? Well, we ain't seen you in a minute. That's crazy. How y'all popping up? That's crazy. That's crazy as fuck. Because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I need to really start to like reassign the moderators because like a lot of people, you know, don't even be checking in no more. Like a lot of people I made moderators don't even be checking in. Now all of a sudden, the moderators is popping up. I was literally just thinking about like y'all about to take away some wrenches and give out some new wrenches. You know, because again, people have moved on. People got wrenches, they don't even show up no more. So I'm like, I got to start reconfiguring some things. So I'm glad y'all showed up because I was so about to start reconfiguring some wrenches. I'm like, okay. So, all right. That's just funny. This shit it was in the back of my mind. Not getting notifications for a very long time, but we know why. We know. Let's look at the type of shit I be talking about. You got, yeah, I do, yeah, definitely. You definitely got those newborns. So yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, Ashe, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, continue to be the best mother that you can be. You know what I mean? There's definitely no shade. All right? So it's all good. Like it's always good to see y'all. No notifications. Had to re-click the back. Yeah, shit. See, this stuff doesn't make me angry anymore. I used to be irked by this type of stuff. I used to get angry about it. This shit don't make me angry no more. All right? Because I'm like, I have to stay pure. I have to stay pure. So it doesn't anger me no more. I'm not upset. I'm like, yeah, these are just the politics you got to go through when you speak the truth and you don't want anything back. You say, I don't want anything back. I'm not asking for nobody for anything, right? I'm just going to supply you with the game. I'm just going to supply you with the game. So there's very few people that do that, right? Like, I truly don't want anything in return. Like, I don't treat this like a business. Oh, shit. But imagine if I did. Imagine if I did. Oh, man. Has nothing to do with YouTube since it went blind. Need a reading month. I know everybody's going through their personal attributes. So that's why I was like, I'm definitely not, I don't take it personally. So that's what I'm saying. I don't take it personally. You know what I mean? I understand the politics, and yes, everybody have to deal with their own things. You know what I mean? So that's why I salute everybody. You know what I mean? So sticking around, doing what you got to do for your family. You know, you're doing what you got to do for yourself. That's why I don't take any of it personally. You know, that's why I'm like, I have to stay pure of heart. You know what I mean? That's why, yeah, I'm not mad at nobody, not mad at the politics. It is what it is. And I'm just going to keep showing up, but I'm going to keep fucking up these algorithms. You know, I'm going to keep letting everybody know what they need to know. I'm going to keep everybody informed. So I know I'll be trying to stay away from the current events because that's when they really want to fuck with the channel. Right? That's when they want to strike the channel down. Again, I just got a goddamn strike. Like 2 weeks ago, they just struck me for medical misinformation. So again, anytime I go in that direction, like they looking for any reason to fuck with me. So that's why I try to stay away from the medical stuff, because that's really where they hit me. Like the last two strikes have been medical misinformation. I'm like, when am I even talking about COVID? I don't even be talking about COVID, but they hit me for medical misinformation. Like, when the last video I made about COVID? It's probably like somebody asked me a question, I probably answered it, then the whole video get taken down. So I'm like, yeah, they on my ass. When they're like, I'm not even talking about no medical nothing, but like somebody can ask me a question, I answered, and that shit just 15 seconds within the whole video gets taken down over 15 seconds of somebody asking a question or something. So that's how I know they're looking for any little thing. It could be 15 seconds and the whole shit is going down. Right? Keep showing up, yeah. I'm gonna keep showing up. Cause I don't have no intentions. That's why I say I stay pure. Like, it's pure love. This love is not conditional. Like, my love for 93 is not conditional. Meaning, even if y'all don't take heed to anything I'm saying, I'm still gonna show up. Cause I know most people, again, that this, I'm speaking to adults. I'm speaking to people that already have lives, people that already have children, already have jobs. You got bills, you got to pay rent. You don't have time to just dedicate your whole existence to the occult. So that's why I speak what I speak. That's why I do show up, because I'm like, I understand everybody don't have the same amount of time to dedicate to this shit. And I understand the only reason you can say I'm so deep into this, because I've been doing this shit since I was a teenager. I didn't start doing this when I was an adult. Right? What's up, Sarah Star? Just found your channel. Love the information with it. Well, that's good to hear, because I know I lose subscribers every goddamn day. So it's very interesting. You talking about you just found the channel. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you found the channel. I don't know how you pulled off a magical trick. I don't know how the fuck you found this channel, because YouTube definitely doesn't promote it. I lose subscribers every day. But what am I gonna do? What's up, Miss Lieber? Peace. Peace, peace. Right? So I appreciate everybody. Yeah, if you're new, I don't know how you pulled that off. I don't know how you found this. You see the type of shit I be talking about? I don't know how the fuck you found this channel. I don't know how I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you found this. I really be doing it for the people already here. Cause again, y'all see, I've been at 10,000 subscribers for like a whole fucking year. It's like the channel was not growing. They're not trying to give me no clout. YouTube is not trying to give me no clout. So I don't know how the fuck you found this channel. So if you knew, definitely, you're here because your spirit led you here. It's like it ain't because YouTube wanted you here. Definitely, your spirit led you here for whatever reason, for you to get whatever you needed. And again, it's not for everybody. This is like for the minority of people. I know majority of the people is not gonna like what I'm saying. You showed up on the Hurricane Ian. Oh shit. So that's what it is. It's because I put it at. Look at that. All right. See, I need to start talking about current events then. So yeah, if I was talking about with some demon shit, nobody, it's only the people that's already here. As soon as I start talking about current events, so that's that. Okay, so that's the only way I can reach new people. I got to talk about current events. All right, fuck it then. Well, fuck it then. If that's the only way to reach new people, that's fine with me. Cause I have the insight. I can talk about all this stuff. And I always want to give an insight that you're not going to get from anybody else. So as long as I can supply that, I'm going to continue to supply that. So it's about 7 a.m. now. So, the day is about to get started. I definitely come out a little bit later. So let everybody get to work, get the kids off to school. Let everybody do what they got to do. So I'll definitely come back a little bit later. So I definitely appreciate y'all for that insight. I started doing more current events. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep coming from the heart. And salute to you. I wish everybody the best. So even if you are at your worst state, I still wish you the highest. I still see you in your highest state. So if nobody else sees you, I see you. So we'll come back a little bit later. Enjoy your day. And if you can't enjoy your day, fuck some shit up. 93.